So this week, the local gamekeeper, who we have a relationship with, has gone out onto the land and stalked a deer. He's been doing it for over 40 years. He's very sensitive and to the deer and loves them very much. You can tell that if you was ever to wish to meet him.
I'm a deer manager more than anything. I take stalkers out and I manage deer for several farms and landowners around the Team Valley area. So basically I manage herds of deer which are predominantly fallow deer on the Haldon range. I normally deal with Joe via Embercombe because Joe is an organiser and manager. It was a training exercise for the school. I can read you a quote which sums it up. It's from King George VI, and it says, "The wildlife of today is not ours to dispose of as we please. We have it in trust. We must account for it to those who come after us." And that's how I look at it. The animals are there. They have to be managed. There's no natural known predators, but it's got to be done humanely and properly and ethically. And that's how I think I manage, I stalk. You've got to have feeling for the animal. It's not just a case of going out and shooting what you see. You study the animals. If there's anything that's ill or sick, then obviously that's priority. But you've got, as I said before, you've got to take the season into account. If the animal is out of season but it is injured and it needs shooting, then it's mercy killing. And within the law you're allowed to do that. So, but that doesn't mean to say just because you see an animal that's limping that you can kill it and say it's a mercy killing. The animal has got to be injured and probably on the last hours of its life. So, and with any animal, if you need to kill it, it's got to be killed quickly and humanely, and that's how I operate. I think it's a privilege, me being able to cross the land and shoot where I do. It's not everybody can do that. It's my thanks go out to the landowners for allowing me to do that. It's just my lifestyle is such as I don't stay. I'm up, I'm out. You've seen the early mornings, the sun rising, the beautiful days, the wildlife you see. You know, most people never see that in a lifetime, because they're working weekends, they're either shopping or tied up with other things. But I think I was born to stalk, probably like my Kenyan friend. It's my lifestyle. I love it. I love to see the animals and be out in the wild and the wilderness. Full stop.
And we brought in a deer. And the purpose of us having deer here is that it's wild meat. The predators have all gone, which were the wolves, which died out a number of years ago. And basically, it's really how we do things here. And so the deer itself is, you know, it's a beautiful animal. This is the land that it's walked over for many hundreds of years, and we don't just treat it as a packaged meat, we call it wild meat. And one of the philosophies that's grown here at Embercombe is to eat wild meat and not buy meat from supermarkets and just farm it in that consumerist way. And then what we're learning and beginning to understand is the value of doing things in this way, just like we would value a glass of water, or like we value the air. We only have to look around our world to see the struggle of how people are living and breathing and unable to sustain themselves really in the way that we are. And we need to go back to some of these practices to know what it takes to kill an animal, shoot it, trap it, then prepare it, then use every single part of it. So there is no waste, and I think if we learn to do that, then I think we could grow stronger as a community and as a people. And if we begin to understand that about animals, then maybe we'll understand that about the plant world as well. That the plant world is as much alive as the deer, and they go hand in hand. So right now down on the land here, that same deer that was shot this week has now been cooking in the land, covered over in an old traditional way, and it's been cooking in the land that it loves so much for the last 20 hours. And will be celebrated today by the local community who will come here and visit, and maybe we'll taste some of that deer. And the going in of the ground and the preparation of that has been done by young people who have turned up over these last 10 days for their own learning, and from a school in London, the King's Langley Steiner School, and they've come here and they've taken part in bringing their own thoughts and feelings to it in whatever way they've chosen to do that, such as just saying some nice words like you would wish somebody a happy birthday, or a prayer, or a dream, or a hope.